Hey there, it's Kimberly Lucht, and today I want to talk about a new book that's out on the market. It's called Let It Be Easy by Susie Moore, and Susie's an author, life coach, and also a friend and mentor of mine who is the perfect example of this phrase, let it be easy, in both her life and her business. I was lucky enough to get an advanced galley copy, and I wanted to pinpoint a few chapters in this book that really stuck out to me. The first of which being The Best Thing I Never Had is Beyoncé's best song. Any chapter that has the name Beyoncé in it is something that I will read, that's for sure, because y'all know how much I love Beyoncé. But something that I really find so beautiful about this chapter is that we all have moments where we've been in a life situation, a business situation, a professional situation where we didn't get what we wanted, right? Where something just didn't necessarily go our way. In my own experience is that in college, I tried out for a contemporary dance company, which was all college students, and something that I just thought was really fun and exciting. And I really enjoyed how they performed. And I didn't end up getting in. I did my best at the audition. I even had friends that were in the company and was kind of already looking forward to hanging out with them more, but it ended up being that, nope, not for me. So what ended up happening as a result of that was that I ended up exploring different types of dance. So I joined the African American Dance Company. I joined a Samba dance company. I, was already on the university's dance team. So it was kind of like doing a bunch of different types of dance all in one, and adding one more thing into the mix might have been A, overwhelming, and B, might have been a deterrent for me trying other types of dance, things that I've never done before. So it really opened my eyes in the end to so many different ways of moving the body. I also want to draw attention to one of the lyrics that Susie mentions in this chapter, and it's finding the good in goodbye. And so thinking about a time in your life where saying goodbye, maybe it was difficult, maybe it was something that just didn't make sense at the time, but you just knew you had to say goodbye. An example from my own life is when I left the country I was living in, the boyfriend I was dating, and the job that I was at to pursue something that I knew was bigger than me and create my own business. And I know that at the time, everything looked like it was good and looked like it was fine, and my body was starting to kind of fall apart. I knew it was time to come back home to myself. And so saying goodbye to all of those things, essentially all at once, was, yes, difficult, challenging, something that really, I don't know, it was scary at the time, and now I look back, I'm like, best decision I ever made. Best thing I never had. Thank you, Beyoncé, for that reminder, and thank you, Susie, for putting that Beyoncé reminder in your book. The second chapter I want to point out is The Grass is Greener Because It's Fake. I love the name of this chapter because it's kind of funny. Sometimes we do see things that look so pretty. Like I was just mentioning, my life in the country that I was living in before, it was beautiful, tropical, fun, exciting. And also I felt like I was dying inside, right? So the grass is greener because it's fake is a good testament of we don't know everything. We don't know a person's health conditions. We don't know what's going on in their relationship. We don't know what's happened in their past. We truly don't know everything that somebody is experiencing. And so when we think that, oh, this person has it so good or that person has it so great, sometimes, yes, their life is beautiful in certain ways, and in other ways difficult and challenging, just like our lives. And so really understanding the fact that everybody has those moments of, why me? It's not always sunshine and rainbows for everybody. It's always something that, comes and goes in waves for everybody. There's no way that grass is always green all the time unless it's fake, which that chapter title is it's just so funny to me. Unless you got some football turf up in your lawn. I prefer real grass personally, but real grass, it goes through moments of being really, really green, really verdant, really abundant, and also really dry and brown, and that's okay. Both are great in their own ways. I will say that before I started my business, I remember people envying my life when I was traveling a lot and going to a bunch of different countries. At this point, I think I've been to about 50, and I want to remind everybody that I felt really uncentered, ungrounded, and a little burnt out at traveling so much so fast. And even told my friend right before the pandemic, I was like, girl, I was in Mexico for her friend's wedding with her, and I was like, girl, I am not leaving the country for another year. And what do you know? Still here. But I was that like done with traveling around so much and so often and so fast. And I think it's easy to see like, oh my God, Kimberly was in Brazil, or Kimberly was in Thailand. And I want y'all to know that, yeah, it was all beautiful. It was all exciting and fun, and something that I would never take for granted, something that I would never undo. And at the same time, I'm so happy that I'm rooted and planted and grounded here. You know, this is the first time in my life, other than when I was a kid, that I really feel rooted in a space. And I think that that's so beautiful and so exciting and so yummy to me. And so yes, maybe some people would have envied the travel all the time, do all the things life more, and that's like the grass is greener. And like, I'm also like, the other side of that is so beautiful too. So no matter where you are, as long as you feel good in your body about what you're doing, who you're doing it with, where you are in this moment, that's all good. Your grass is green, right? When you're feeling good, your grass is green. And the third chapter I want to outline here is actually on page 111. In this chapter, Susie outlines the most important coaching question, and I think it's something that really helps with the Let It Be Easy method. What do I have control over? What do I have control over? Deciding what you do have control over and not is going to help your decision-making process be so much more smooth and so much more streamlined. Susie, I think, also mentions in the book that making a decision is better than making no decision at all. And that's another way to make your life so much easier, so much more free and fluid. When you are presented with a situation that seems out of control, overwhelming, really challenging, asking yourself that question of what do I have control over? In what ways could I make this easier for myself? Where am I struggling where I actually don't need to? Those are all like questions that I've heard from Susie herself that really bring back home the idea of we don't have to make it harder than it already is. I was in yoga class the other day and the teacher's like, we do not have to make things harder for ourselves. Life's hard enough. And that's the premise of this book. So if you feel like the Let It Be Easy mantra is something that you want to invite more of into your life, I really want to encourage you guys to get this book. It is so good. I think it's Susie's best book so far. It's also the most empowering mantra that I've heard in years. Let it be easy. In what ways could I make this easier for myself? Susie really holds the space for you to breathe deep, let it all out, and make things a little easier for yourself. So just to recap, best thing I never had, things that haven't come our way or haven't gone our way, maybe that's a good thing. And there's good and goodbye. And then the grass is greener because it's fake. Knowing that, you know, somebody's beautiful highlights and reels, of course, that's a beautiful part of their life. We also don't see the behind the scenes of that. There's always beautiful parts and not so beautiful parts of every single person's life. We can't forget that. That'll make it so much easier for us to love ourselves, love our lives, love who we are, love where we are. There's no right or wrong here. Last but not least, this beautiful, most important coaching question of what do you have control over? Where can you let things be a little easier? In what ways could life be less of a struggle? I hope this helps. I'm so glad that you're here with me. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Ciao for now.